So here we have it, folks. This is the first time that I've been watching an MCU movie in the theaters. And while I was still in the theater, I was just like, alright. Black Widow. So Black Widow is, of course, the first solo movie, I guess only solo movie, that the Natasha Romanoff Black Widow character will be getting in the MCU, which came after she died 2 years ago in Avengers Endgame. And this movie's gone through a lot. It's been delayed for a very long time, and I feel like after it was supposed to come out in May last year and it came out in July this year, the question on everybody's mind is it worth having waited over a year to see this movie? The answer, frankly, simply put, cut and dry, is no. It's not worth having waited so long. What is this movie about? That's a good question. It serves as like a retroactive origin for her because they waited so long to give her any actual characterization that we didn't know what her true origin was outside of that flashback sequence in Age of Ultron. And it also takes place in between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War, so it's about her like being on the run and all that stuff because Ross is coming after her. Ross has 2 appearances in the movie and he's never on screen at the same time as Romanoff. It's like, oh, okay, that's totally fine. By the way, at a certain point in this video, I'm going to be getting heavy into spoilers because I do not want to make a separate video about this, and there's a lot that I do want to talk about when it comes to this movie. But you get like stuff about what her family was like when she lived in Ohio and stuff like that, and it's supposed to give the like a Winter Soldier Civil War type of vibe, but it just kind of fails at doing that entirely. Now, part of me didn't even want to make this video because it's no secret that I still haven't seen Captain Marvel because I had no interest in watching Captain Marvel. You guys know I didn't like Wonder Woman 1984, and so I didn't want it to seem like every time there's a female-led superhero movie, I just have a problem with it because that's not true. I love badass women in movies. I love Celine. I like Alice in Resident Evil for what she is. I like Sarah Connor. I like Ellen Ripley. None of it has to do with the fact that it's about a woman. It's just a boring movie. I'm sorry. The pacing in this movie is so bad, and some of the editing is so weird, and for some reason there is a very strange cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit early in the movie, and it's just like, what? On the bright side, though, the chemistry between her and Yelena, who's played by Florence Pugh in this movie, is great. They actually do have a pretty good like sister chemistry, which is good because that's what they're supposed to have. As far as chemistry between any other set of characters, though, virtually non-existent. David Harbour, though, great job in this movie. David Harbour was my favorite. What did he do in the movie? Precisely jack shit. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is that when he was on screen, he chewed up the scene. He did a great job. Now let's talk about Taskmaster. Taskmaster is a character who is very near and dear to me. He was my main back when I played Marvel 3 closer when it came out. I love him. I didn't care too much for how they treated him on Ultimate Spider-Man, but whatever. I just think that the ability to copy any move that you see is really useful, especially when you can combine all those moves. He doesn't forget after he's done fighting a person. He stores that knowledge and can use it against them in the future. Super cool. I love him. He's great. I've been looking forward to seeing him in a movie for a long time. I wanted to see him in Captain America, or I wanted to see him on Daredevil or something, on Iron Fist maybe, just anywhere. And it's like, okay, well, he's going to be in the Black Widow movie. He's going to be using like Black Panther tech and Captain America tech and Hawkeye tech. And when I say tech, I mean technique, not technology. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's gonna be using some of Natasha's friends against her. I have never been blueballed harder by a villain in a movie than by Taskmaster in Black Widow. Holy shit. It's like, it actually made me angry. It reduced my enjoyment of the movie by a full letter grade. If I did letter grades and this movie had a C, which it did, it would have had a D after what I had to see happen with Taskmaster, because holy shit, never been more disappointed by a villain in any movie before. And I've seen Batman and Robin, I've seen Thor the Dark World. I actually really like Malekith. I saw Thor Ragnarok. I thought Hela or Firelord Surtur wouldn't matter. But no. I've seen Age of Ultron. holy shit, Ultron can't be defeated like that. But they did it, and his grand plan, levitate a city and drop it back down to the earth like a meteor. I rocked with it all. But Taskmaster and what they did to him in this movie, no fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way. So this is where I'm going to get into more spoiler territory. So if you don't want pretty much the entire movie spoiled for you, don't watch this part. You can skip ahead to... I'll probably put the timestamp on screen if I remember to do so. But that's your warning. You should leave right about now. If you're still here, here we go. So the whole movie centers around this gas that is able to free a person of chemical, mental reconditioning, which is what a lot of the Black Widows who came after Natasha apparently went through. Even though I thought Natasha and Yelena went into the program at the same time, but I guess not, because Yelena was affected by it and Natasha wasn't. So apparently, some years ago, what happened in Budapest was not very interesting, because it's just Natasha blowing up the guy that she thought, or the guy that's responsible for making her into the Black Widow, for pretty much sterilizing her, all that stuff. You know, sure. But it didn't work, apparently. And that guy had a daughter, and that daughter is Taskmaster. And not only can she not actually copy people's abilities, it comes from the suit that she wears, but she's another character that's like Ghost, where you have this character who's not a good person. They're pretty much a mercenary that's willing to kill or attack anybody for a paycheck. You take them, you make them a woman, and then you make them this tortured soul that was manipulated by these powers that she had no control over. You know, with Ghost it was Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D., and with Taskmaster it's her father. And so that way you actually have to feel sympathy for this character who in the comics warrants no sympathy whatsoever. Right? Winter Soldier is a character that warrants sympathy in the comics. Taskmaster is not. Loki is a character that warrants sympathy in the comics. Ghost is not. I rocked with it with Ghost. I had too much writing on Taskmaster. I can't let it slide twice. That's actually horrible. But so basically the whole point is to get this gas to the rest of the Black Widows and liberate them. I don't want to sound like a basement dwelling neckbeard type of guy, but there's definitely like a girl power, taking your power back from the man type of message in this movie, which I guess is fine. I don't really care. You can have a message, you can have a theme, as long as it doesn't get in the way of a good story. Unfortunately, this movie does not tell a good story. It feels like the movie starts 10% of the way through the story, because where did this miraculous gas that liberates the Black Widows come from? No fucking clue. No idea whatsoever. Come to find out that the reason, though, that this is going to be a really long clip, I just realized. Holy shit. All this time, though, and all these years, there's a reason that Black Widow has not been able to find the Red Room where she was turned into the Black Widow. And the reason is that it's a floating fortress. It's in the sky. So there's this big-ass thing in the sky that nobody ever noticed. S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't notice it. Well, I guess S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra were working with the Red Room to develop the chemical. But okay, Black Widow's surrogate mother from the mission at the beginning of the movie is talking about how they were working with Hydra to figure out how to strip a person of their free will, and it was part of how they developed the Winter Soldier, right? So I guess S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra were okay with it. Tony Stark never noticed it, though. Never, but he noticed Peter Parker catching a car. And then it's like all the Black Widows have this this pheromone block where if they smell the bad guy, they can't harm him. By the way, having the main bad guy be some guy that I'm pretty sure is made up for the movie that can't really do anything physically or on a grand scale the same way that Alexander Pierce could, kind of lame. It's like, oh, I have the power to do all these things. Flex it. Show me. Do something. Alexander Pierce actually commanded authority. This guy, only in one fucking scene in the movie. Winter Soldier is such a better Black Widow movie than this is. Holy shit. Anyway, you mean to tell me Tony Stark never noticed it and did anything about it? But they have all these, they have this pheromone block that they can't attack him. They can't hurt him if they smell him. Sure. But then Yelena, the Florence Pugh Black Widow, kills him. Well, I guess you couldn't smell him. all right, whatever, you win. But and then Black Widow and Taskmaster don't even really have a final fight. Taskmaster's final fight is actually with Red Guardian, but you don't get to fucking watch it happen because the movie thinks that it's more interesting to watch Natasha stand in a room talking to this guy. Okay. I also have no idea why she wouldn't have contacted Steve Rogers to help her with this when she helped him with the situation that he had in Winter Soldier. I guess it's like a she don't need no man type of thing, but whatever. I mean, she needed help, right? So I think Steve would have helped her regardless, because at the end of the movie, right, she gets a Quinjet. And she's like, she's gonna go help Steve break everybody out of prison. So it's like, if she's willing to go help him do something that he could probably do on his own, because the end of Captain America Civil War implied that he did it on his own, then why can't he help her with this? I just feel like there are situations where you could call Steve Rogers and people just keep not doing it. Iron Man 3, call Steve Rogers. Whatever. End of spoiler section, I guess. With this movie, very unforgettable score, unforgettable plot. Unforgettable, I'm saying the wrong word. Very forgettable score, very forgettable plot. Character motivations damn near non-existent. MacGuffin completely magical in this movie. Holy shit. Main antagonists, extremely boring. The most boring in any Marvel movie I've ever seen, including the X-Men movies. And the Fantastic Four movies. There's nothing that I could really say is great about this movie other than the stuff that you would expect to be great. Scarlett Johansson, David Harbour, Florence Pugh, they all do a great job. But like, it doesn't come together into anything special or very memorable, and it's just very disappointing overall. So if I were to toss Black Widow into my rating system, I guess I would say that you won't remember it in a couple days. Here's the thing, it's not as bad as a lot of other people have said it is, but it's also not as good as you would want it to be after having waited so long, and for it to be the only Black Widow movie we're gonna get about Natasha Romanoff, because guess what? She's fucking dead. See, this movie just came out 7 years too late. You can't introduce a character to the MCU in the third movie, right? 2 years after Iron Man 1 came out. Introduce her, put her on the Avengers, have her do all these cool things. She's fighting Thanos, she's fighting Ultron, she's fighting off an alien invasion, she's fighting the rest of the Avengers, stuff like that. You can't do that, and then you decide after all that, after she sacrifices herself to get the Soul Stone so that they can bring half the universe back, after her life is given as a sacrifice that saves the universe, you can't wait until after all of that to give her a solo movie, because then nobody cares. Nobody cares, and it's clear that the writers of the movie didn't care very much either, which is very disappointing. Because I really like Black Widow, and I was really writing on this movie being good, but we didn't get that. But Black Widow, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and educate me. And as always, if more videos from me, go ahead and click somewhere on the screen. If you want the sticker right here, then you can buy it in the link below, or you can buy a shirt, or a phone case, or a hoodie, or a sweater, you know. I do want to release something new, so if you're an artist out there, hit me up. We'll work on something together. I would love to, actually. Anyway, see you next time.